Hi, this is Elsie Kearns, and today I'm really excited because I have the opportunity to speak with Saba, and she is a very unique lady who has bridged both the science world, body, mind, spirit, and the technical computer science world as well. So let's get started right away. Saba, tell me a little bit about your journey. Very, very unique.
Well, I'm of Turkish descent. Both my parents are Turkish. I was born here, but by the age of 10 had left the States and moved to Turkey. Did quite a bit of traveling from Turkey to Austria to Iran, Germany, back to Turkey, and eventually came back here. And I was brought up seeing many different customs, adjusting to keeping a very open mind about different customs. It is very, very traditional in Turkey to read Turkish coffee cups. And so that's how I became familiar with that type of reading. My mother always read the cups, and I was very, it's very traditional, as I said, in Turkey. So I would always see women getting around, and a lot of times among women, so read cups. Then when I was in Iran at the age of 18, somebody who I had known said, you're Turkish, why don't you read our cups? I'm like, I don't know anything about reading cups. I'd see my mother do it, but I don't know anything about it. Oh, come on, it's just for fun. So they gave me a cup of somebody who I didn't know at all. I read his cup, and everything that should not have happened to a 16-year-old kid is what I just suddenly saw in this cup, and I was overcome by the stories that just came out. So within, they all unfolded exactly as I had told. And as a result of that, the next thing I knew, I was the fundraiser at school. They'd line up to, have me read their cups. And that's sort of how the cup thing started. I did it to friends and family for a number of years. Meanwhile, I continued my journey of moving around from country to country, eventually returned back to the States as an adult, and was introduced into the computer world, made a profession out of that. Right out of college, my brother and I started a company to design equipment for blind and print disabled people. And which did quite well for a while. Eventually, I left that company and continued to do consulting work, designing custom software. At some point, I guess it's been now about maybe 9 years ago, I decided, I really wanted to share this gift of reading the Turkish coffee cup with others. So I started doing workshops and teaching people how it gets done, and doing also private readings at that point, which led me to be wanting to understand better how the mind actually works. Here, I came from a very scientific, technical background, where everything was an if-then-else statement. If something happened, then it's factual. And in programming, you look at sort of the big picture and say, okay, this is my data. I need to direct it in a certain way so that I get my desired outcome. My outcome being whether it's the reports that you're producing or whatever. How is it that I could look at this coffee cup and tell a person I've never met before what happened in their past or their personality, what blockages they have that are preventing them from achieving certain goals? So that led me to become very curious about the mind. And so as a result, I decided to become a hypnotist, and I became certified as a hypnotist. And from there, I, not realizing, not with that initial intention, could see the link between designing a database and the way that the mind works. So I could see how I can look at a person's mind and then take that data and simply redirect it so that we can get the desired outcome. And all of that has to do with the unconscious mind, which is exactly what I am linking into when I look at a coffee cup.
Oh.
And so that then led me into the biofeedback, understand, and I learned of this technology, became fascinated by it, where it works very much like acupuncture. It picks up the stresses in the body, and which are our blockages. And if we can clear these blockages, then we can have a much more fluid flow. The blockages are not stopping us, are not creating blockages, create other factors. They create our bodies from not functioning well, both emotionally and physically. So the combination of that was just beautiful for me. It was like this was a complete marriage between the hypnosis and the coffee reading, being able to see these blockages, and the biofeedback, being able to clear it, and the hypnosis being able to take what is in our minds and our unconscious mind and redirect that information.
Well, that's really exciting to hear, and we're going to have you right here in South Jersey.
Yes, can't wait.
April 19th, you're going to do a workshop from 10 to 3, and then there will be coffee cup readings after that. And by the way, I had a good friend that gave me this great little coffee cup. It has all of the astrology around it. It's a real Irish number, so I'm actually going to bring that because I understand that the Turkish coffee is much like espresso, and so you're serving that in a little small cup and then reading after the person has finished their coffee. Is that correct?
That's right. What happens is that there's a thick residue at the bottom. And so you don't drink that. For one thing, it really doesn't taste good. And also because I need it. So you drink till you come to that thick residue, and then you stop. You will then take the saucer, place it on top of the cup, and you will spin it around, flip it over, and those grinds run down the cup now into the saucer, and it creates images. And it's those images that I'm reading.
Wow.
So
fascinating. Yeah.
It's just a medium. It's like anything else. Your intuitive mind needs a focus point. And why the coffee cup works for me, I don't know. But it just does. It becomes my focus. For other people, it could be tea leaves, it could be the palm, it could be tarot cards. But really what's happening is that it is our unconscious minds opening that up, quieting the critical conscious mind, and allowing a complete focus where we are listening to the thoughts that the unconscious mind is telling us. And we are just simply using that coffee cup or whatever it is as a tool.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So actually, one of the things that I love about your website is the name, that self-empowered mind. And it seems like your work is really helping people empower themselves through the hypnotherapy, the biofeedback. You even have hypnobiofeedback. And I think this is a wonderful tool that we have today to really realize how much our mind can do and that we have the capability to change it.
Absolutely. And that's really the part that is so important to me. It's, again, I think, frankly, that a lot of this comes from just all the travel that I've done. There's a lot of beauty in traveling, but there's a lot of challenges as well. And with every new country, with every new setting that you're in, one feels very challenged. Your character is challenged. You feel judged. There's a whole new educational system. And so throughout my growing up, I've had my own challenges. So for me to feel that empowerment of the self-power is so important. And when I am able to be able to help people in some way to find their self-empowerment, it means the world to me. So, and this is why throughout my life, I've always been involved with either designing equipment for people with disabilities, or, for 20 years, I worked at a mental health clinic designing software. It's either directly or indirectly, I have always had an involvement to be a part of enabling people to be self-empowered. And I just feel so blessed that I'm at a point in my life where I can actually have even more direct impact. And it's just a wonderful feeling.
Well, I can just tell by your smile how passionate you are about your work. So I just want to, that's clear. And so I want to let everybody on the short interview that we're doing know that Saba is going to help you learn how the brain works, how to work with blockages, what her biofeedback is. We're going to do that Sunday, April 19th from 10 to 3 right here in Medford, New Jersey at the Center Life and Balance. And below we have a link so that you can check with Awakenings Connection and register or find out more, and a phone number in case you want more specifics. But we're really looking forward to that. It's only in another week or so, and we'll have you down here. And you are based right in New York, in Manhattan.
That's right.
Your website is selfempoweredmind.com. So you can go there.
It's selfempoweredminds with an S.com.
Okay. Okay, great. And we'll have all of that information below so that you can go in and look at all the things that Saba does and connect with her. But most important, come and join us next Sunday at the Center Life and Balance right in Medford. It's only $45, and let Saba teach you some of the many fascinating things that she's learned throughout her travels and her own personal journey. So Saba, what would you like to say in closing for us?
Well, the workshop is going to be a wealth of information. And one of the things that I love about, not just about giving people the empowerment, that self-empowerment, but also when people are able to open up their intuitive minds, that third eye, the awareness, it's not only for being able to read tarot cards or whatever, but more so, it creates a self-awareness as well as an awareness about others. So as a result of that, you at work, it's a better performance because you're able to pick up what other people are feeling. And on a relationship issue, a relationship level, the same thing. So that's one of the things that I'll be focusing on in my workshop, is teaching the ways that one can open up their intuitive mind, their third eye. And as I said, there will be a wealth of information in there, as well as lots of fun.
Yes, lots of fun. Well, we're really looking forward to it, because what you do sounds so unique, and you've taken the best of your journey and put it together in a way that, as you said, empowers those that you work with. And that's right what we need today.
Yes.
Yeah. So Saba, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to get this around, and I'll send you the link also. Take care of yourself, and I can't wait to meet you.
Same here, and thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.